adventurers from Safeway in Port Angeles, where I decided I needed to pick up some coffee and fuel up the car. We're about to go into Olympic National Park, and I wanted to make sure that I had the energy to do some of those hikes and the car was ready to go. So I checked everything out, we are good to go, and we're about to get on the road. I just had the best conversation with the ladies at the Safeway Starbucks. They had some cool suggestions and a really creepy one that was really fascinating. Something about a lady of the lake. I don't think that the Roadrunner is loving this temperature change, guys. I keep getting this condensation inside the car while I'm not even in the car. So that's fun. Look guys, we made it so we can start our day off at the Hurricane Ridge. We're gonna find the visitor center and check out some of these amazing views, but Olympic National Park, we are here. This is the whole reason I planned this trip, just so you know. Just past the sign, we get to the visitor center, so let's go in here and see what kind of displays they have and information. Before the more modern boats and vessels, they actually used to take out boats like this one. Look how big this is, for whale hunting. Can you imagine? Anyway, the illustration shows kind of how this would work and the size of the whale. Insane. Interesting challenge. Have we seen these? Oh, this is so pretty. Being able to know our surroundings while out here is super important, so I like that this area has all of the different tracks that you might be able to find. It helps you associate them with what kind of animal you might encounter, so you can find out if it's going to be a nice cute little fluffy animal or a big scary one that you need to run away from. I love this. This is awesome. This is from Chief Seattle, and it says that if all the animals were to go away, then the man would eventually have the same thing happen, and they would die of loneliness, and it would be sad. I agree. Okay guys, this is where we started out today, and this is all that we could possibly explore. No big deal, right? Oh wow, it just keeps going. Stepping outside, we picked up our postcards, we got our map, we have a direction to go in, and a few suggestions outside of the park as well. So now I thought I'd check out the displays out here in the main area and possibly take on this little living forest trail. An interesting cabin. So this cabin was originally built in the late 1800s, 1887 to be precise. It was lived in for approximately 40 years, and it was built a little bit over a mile away from here. It was later donated by the family, and here it is. Now this nature trail that we're about to go on is literally right beside this. It says here that this trail is an accessible trail. Bicycles are prohibited on the trail, and it's not very long, so let's go see what it has to offer. Wow, it's already so amazing. I'm already seeing some of the little leaves falling. This is awesome. This morning I woke up and it was a crisp day here in Washington, and it definitely felt like fall. I don't know why I'm not wearing more sleeves. Oh well. true beauty of this area is that you find plants that you don't necessarily find just everywhere. So you'll find ferns that are growing wild like these. You'll find mosses that you can't find anywhere but in this region. It's amazing because coming from a state that's traditionally more dry, like Texas, seeing all this lush green this late into the year is so amazing. It's so colorful, it's so vivid, and it's so alive, and it just invigorates. Such a cute way to repurpose the fallen trees, or the trees that had to be cut back because they were dying. That's awesome. I like that. I really like when parks take into account the people who are coming to see the park itself. Not everyone is going to be on the same skill level when it comes to hiking or ability, and so it's nice to see features like this where the trail is nice and smooth and flat, so someone who is 8 or 80 could come out here and easily explore no matter what their ability. After leaving the visitor center, I decided to go right on up to Hurricane Ridge. This is one of the most popular areas to go and see all of the amazing scenery along this way. So here we go. We are making our ascent. Finally made it to the entry gate, so we have our pass and our ID ready to go. So as we go through this line, all we have to do is hand it to them and move on. Wanted to stop off at this vantage point because we are high atop the fog again, and it is insane. I can barely see anything below me, and above me I can see it just kind of wafting through the air. I'm gonna try to show you that. I don't know how well it's gonna translate onto camera, but it's gorgeous. On a clear day, there's all of these different things that we should be able to see. But right now, what you see is what I see. So normally from here, you can see the San Juan Islands, you can see Glacier Peak, you can see Puget Sound, the North Cascades, even into Canada from this point right here. And it's kind of unfortunate we can't see all that at this moment, but we just know that we're witnessing something amazing, even if we can't. Okay, so we have made it to the top of the Hurricane Ridge, where the views are amazing. And there's another visitor center. The museum section is very interesting. It's on the top floor, so you can enter it from the parking lot, or you can go to the lower section and go through the store and the little cafe and go up. I definitely recommend checking it out, though. The video is phenomenal. I would love to see one of these. Normally, guys, I steer away from anything that has to do with snakes, but I found it interesting watching the video in the theater saying that the ecosystem here was different than like any other place. And so I was reading on the board over here about all the animals you can find, many of which aren't anywhere else. And there are no poisonous snakes here. That makes me feel a little at ease. They're still snakes, but they're not poisonous. Okay. We're about to go back outside. We have protected our eyes. There are like 5 different trails that depart from the visitor center, and depending on what skill level and how much time you have, you can see quite a few different views. So I thought, why not just get out there and look at a couple of them. You know, oh, this is discouraging. That's definitely a snowplow. The last time I encountered snow, it did not go well. As you can see from all of these cars, this is one of the most popular areas to come. So there's going to be a lot of people on this trail, no matter which trail we take, unless we go super remote. The trail is nicely paved. It does cut off up here, it gives us a couple of options. There's a lot of people at this viewpoint, so we'll have to see. Aha, it's a ranger talk. That's why there's so many people.
Plants are what gardeners would call perennials. They have a storage system. There's not enough time for a plant to grow from seed, flower, make new seed, and finish everything up in the short couple months. So they have the lupin, that's one with the pods on it. The lupin has a thick taproot like a carrot. All our glacier lilies and avalanche lilies have a bulb like an onion. It can take 6 or 7 years for that bulb to get big enough to produce one flower. So it takes many years of storing up energy to hurry up and get everything done in the short summer.
Interesting if you have the opportunity to check out the ranger talks, because they have expertise in the area and the plants and the wildlife, and many times they have some really interesting little tidbits to share. As you can see, tons of people hiking today because it's beautiful. It's interesting to read the signs along the way. This one talks about how the wetter atmosphere and conditions have actually changed the makeup of this area. And there's some species of plants that are actually taking over areas that previously weren't. So by doing that, it shifts the dynamic of everything from
what's growing, what's not growing, what's living, what's not living.
And that can be both good and bad. That's pretty interesting. It's the official ski patrol. I didn't know that existed here. I mean, it kind of makes sense though. It does look like there's an old lift. Maybe not one that's functioning. We are literally walking amongst the clouds, guys. That's incredible. The history of this place is phenomenal. At one point in time, it was completely like an island, surrounded by ice and completely isolated from the other land that was around, and only the things that were hardy could really survive. So things had to adapt, and it's so interesting to see what is here now. Beautiful flowers, tall grasses, things that are durable throughout the snow months. It's gorgeous. We're going to head back to the car and see what else we can find. I am so excited. Of course, I'm gonna stop and take advantage of some of these views. There's still snow on some of these mountains. Next stop, Lake Crescent. I thought this was a perfect place to stop off and check out the beautiful lake views. Shame on people for carving in that. A few fun facts about this lake. It's one of the deeper lakes in the United States. It's a glacial lake, it's cold. It also is super clear, and on a really sunny day, you can see from vantage points how the cerulean blue color really stands out. Now, if you stop off at this stop that I've stopped at, there are a lot of logging trucks in the area, so it's not quite as peaceful as I'd like it to be, but it is a beautiful vantage point, and I'm really pleased that I stopped off here. It is also very near to a very, very exceptional waterfall, which we're gonna go check out next. Look at that right there. That's the color. Gorgeous. This is totally the lake that, remember, I was telling you they had a morbid story at Starbucks about? Yeah, this is it. Let me tell you the story. Apparently, this guy decided to go crazy and kill his wife. He then wrapped her up and sunk her to the bottom. But the water, because it's glacial, remember, was so cold that her body didn't just like go away. It froze. And then several years later, it ended up floating to the top somehow, completely frozen. But instead of her being like normal, just iceberg, her skin was like a soapy texture. Ew, right? Anyway, so now there's this awkward, weird legend that whenever you see sea foam in this lake, that it's actually soap from her and she's haunting you. I don't believe that. I believe that some really horrible things happen at a lot of places, and this is a really tragic story, but at the same time it's a gorgeous location and the actions of one should not ruin it for the rest of us. But now you know, so when you come here you can totally sit there and think of that when you see sea foam. We have arrived. There's a nice parking lot, a map, and a ranger station, but we are off to the trail. I'm not entirely sure that I'm going the right direction, but I sure have a great view. So I'm not gonna complain, not one little bit. We are definitely on the trail, guys. Look at that. And there is our tunnel. Yes. Now, when I was initially told about this hike, the guy said,
"You're not afraid of dark places, are you?"
That's not that bad. As you can see now, we just went under the highway. Yeah. So, I mean, this kind of makes sense now. So our car is now on that side over there, and we are on this side. We're gonna go check out something spectacular. I cannot wait. This is about to be so epic. I am kind of happy I wore my boots, guys. It's a little muddy today because it has been raining. Wow, look at these. They're all covered in moss. They are beautiful. To see how nature coexists with the living and the dead, and how the things that are dead actually become places for new growth. That tree was very unique, so yeah, you never know what you're gonna find when looking for a waterfall. Can you see how big this tree is? Like what? Guys, look at these people over here in comparison to the trees. Yeah, that's amazing. This is the only way I can share just how big these truly are. Look at that. There's water over here. That means we're getting closer. Overall, this is a 0.9 mile hike, and it's pretty flat. But soak in the moments, guys. These are gorgeous moments. Here are just different. They're larger than life. They're greener than life. They're more amazing than things you just see just anywhere. And it's because of where they are and how they survive. It's really cool. We're not even in the rainforest yet, and I feel like we're seeing something that is so from another planet. Here it is, guys. This is our signs. We're gonna go this way over here. Now, this trail and then there was another trail are also accessible by this path. So that's pretty cool, but let's go. We have a mission. See guys, this is what I was talking about. This is obviously a dead tree, but look how many things are thriving as a result of it falling. Look at that. Back on the path. Distraction. Nature's just so beautiful. We're getting closer. Well, isn't that interesting? This little walkway behind me is super cool, but it goes to stairs, which means we need to be really careful because it's super wet out here. We're not trying to fall. That would be so bad. Buckle up, guys. It's about to be an interesting ride. These are the stairs, guys. We're gonna be real careful. They do have handrails though, so I would recommend using them because it's wet. So up we go. I hear a waterfall. Where is it? Oh, it's right up here. Yes! Look at this, it's so gorgeous. I'm going to show you a close-up of what it looks like. It's beautiful, and as you can see, lots of people out here enjoying it today. And down we go. Down is always way easier, except it crowds your shoes. Places like this and views like that literally give me life. Whenever I wake up in the morning and I'm cold and I don't necessarily feel the best in the world, I'm achy and I'm creaky and I don't want to get out of bed, I get up and I go find something like this and it changes everything. It's amazing. It's so amazing what the beauties of nature can do. So funny story. I just passed a group of kids, like a big group of kids, probably some scouts, and they were having to be coached along the way. I don't feel so bad now. Usually kids just blaze through stuff. Not today. I feel like a G today.
I'm a G.
This is the bridge we were just on, guys. Right there. Right beside the water. This is so interesting looking, guys. Like, why does it look like that? The bugs. Yep. Look, guys, we made it back. I think instead of going by the water this time, we are gonna go on the high side trail though that I saw as I was entering. So here we go. Spooky. Ooh. And we're back. This is the high side trail. Much more trail-like than the gravelly coast.